Hi my dear students, very good afternoon. Welcome back to my class. Today I am going to explain topic name respiration in the organisms. Okay, you know children, every living creature performs some basic life process in order to sustain in the nature. So the well-known life process are nutrition, respiration, excretion, circulation, transportation and the nervous system. Right. So here I am going to explain about the respiration. Respiration is one of the biological procedure. It is mainly helps the organism to get energy. Right. You know children, we all are taking the food materials just to get energy. So the food, whatever we are eating, it provides energy. The oxidation of the food substances liberates energy. That particular procedure is nothing but respiration. Okay, this is respiration. Why do we respire? We respire to get energy from the food. We will get energy from food. Right. Food contains stored energy. When we respire, food is broken down in the cells of our body, and with the help of oxygen, energy is liberated. This food will break down to liberate the energy, that too in the presence of oxygen. Now let us define the respiration. It is the process by which food is broken down into the cells of the body with the help of oxygen to release the energy. So let us write the equation. So glucose is, what is this? It is the carbohydrate. It is present in the food materials. Okay. Whenever this glucose reaches the cell, it combines with the oxygen. So it leads to the breakdown of this glucose to liberate energy. So in that procedure, it gives carbon dioxide, water and energy. This energy is stored in the form of ATP. ATP means you know very well. Adenosine triphosphate. ATP means what is children? ATP means adenosine triphosphate. In the cell, this ATP is stored in the mitochondria. Here, this entire breakdown of this glucose molecule occurs at the cell stage. Every cell of the living creature performs this procedure. So there is a reason we'll call this respiration as cellular respiration. What is this children? Cellular respiration. Okay. Let us once again define the respiration. Respiration is the process by which food is broken down in the cells with the help of oxygen to liberate energy. We just see children here. Glucose, when combines with the oxygen, carbon dioxide, water and energy. This energy is stored in the form of ATP. Since respiration takes place in the cells of the body, it is known as cellular respiration. Understood? Right. Now let us see types of respirations. There are two types of respirations are there. So let us discuss what are those. First and foremost, one is aerobic respiration and the second type is anaerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration, in the sense it occurs in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic means it occurs in the absence of oxygen. So let us discuss about the procedures. Aerobic is the respiration in which glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to release the carbon dioxide, water and energy. Takes place in the most of the organisms. Generally in all the organisms we can see this type of respiration, that is aerobic respiration. Here the glucose molecule is going to break down in the presence of oxygen and it liberates carbon dioxide, water and the energy. Now let us see the second type of respiration, that is anaerobic. First we have seen aerobic and now we are discussing about the anaerobic. So already I have written here, anaerobic means in the absence of oxygen. Respiration in which glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen to liberate what? Alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. It takes place in the yeast. So let us write the reactions. Aerobic and anaerobic reactions. Okay, in the aerobic respiration, you know, molecular formula of the glucose is C6H12O6. When this glucose combines with the oxygen, it liberates, it gives carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, now let us see the anaerobic. Here glucose, in the absence of oxygen, it liberates alcohol, water and the energy. Alcohol, water and energy. We just see the products, children. So in the first case we are seeing carbon dioxide, water and energy. In the second case we have seen alcohol, water and energy. So in aerobic respiration we can see in the maximum cases, okay, all the organisms performs aerobic respiration. Anaerobic, mainly it is going to happen in the yeast and some microorganisms also performs this anaerobic respiration, and muscle cells of the human beings, muscle cells of humans also we can see this anaerobic respiration, but that is different. I'll explain. So here in anaerobic respiration, there are muscle cells. So glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen, but it is here we are getting the lactic acid. Glucose breakdowns into lactic acid and the energy. So in the muscles what we are getting, children? Lactic acid and energy. In the yeast cell, glucose broke down to give alcohol, water and energy. You just see the reactions. These reactions are very important. Okay, you need to practice aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, two types. One it is in the yeast cell and the second one is going to happen in the muscle cells. Okay. Next. Reactions over. Everybody need to practice this reactions. These are very important. Understand? Now let us talk about the breathing. Breathing is the process by which oxygen rich air is taken in a carbon dioxide and rich air is given out, so with the help of respiratory organs. See children, we are the human beings, so we have well developed respiratory system. Just now in the previous slides I have what I told you, to perform aerobic respiration we all do require the oxygen. So this is see, we are the best examples for that aerobic respiration. We human beings used to perform aerobic respiration. Means in our case, breakdown of the glucose molecule can possible only under the presence of oxygen. That's the reason we people take oxygen into our body and will liberate carbon dioxide out of the body. That is nothing but the breathing. Right, we have excellent respiratory system in our body, nasal cavity, nasal nares and windpipe, that is trachea. Trachea enters into the lungs, it divides into bronchioles and alveoli. So we have well equipped respiratory system in our body. So with the help of this respiratory system, we are going to take oxygen into our body, and in the same way we are releasing the carbon dioxide which is not utilized by the body. Okay. So, whatever oxygen we are taking into the body, it first through the nasal nares, nasal cavity, and then it enters into the windpipe, that is nothing but the trachea. Then it enters into the lungs. So, lungs we have the alveoli. There we can see the exchange of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Means addition of oxygen to the blood, and so blood is going to gives carbon dioxide again. So in the same way, that is nothing but the breathing procedure. We are inhaling the oxygen and we are exhaling the carbon dioxide. Let us discuss about again in detail what do you mean by inhalation, exhalation, what is the mechanism involved in this actually. Right, the taking in of air, or that means it is rich with oxygen. Whatever we are inhaling, that air rich with oxygen, that is inhalation. The giving out of air is rich with the carbon dioxide. You know, we are taking the oxygen, again we will liberate carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the exhalation. Breathing rate, the number of times a person breathes in a minute is called breathing rate. In a minute, how many times will breathe in, that is nothing but the breathing rate. When a person needs more energy, he breathes faster, more oxygen is supplied to the cells, more food is broken down to get the energy. When we are on the severe work, so on severe fast running, or when we are climbing any steps, so in such cases, so liberation of energy is more. So we require why energy, we require the energy to move on, right? So that is about the breath rate. And how do we breathe? Now we are going to discuss about the actual mechanism involved in this breathing procedure. You know children, this is the respiratory system. Okay, just now explained. First what we have, nasal passage, oral cavity, pharynx, larynx. This larynx is also known as voice box. Very important bit students. Voice box, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs, heart and the ribs. Okay, the first and foremost one is nasal cavity, then enters into the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs and the heart. This is the total respiratory system in the human being. Now, respiratory system helps in the breathing. So, the system which we have in our body, which is very much helping the organism to take oxygen. So, the main part of the respiratory system is nostrils, nasal cavity. What are the main parts? The nostrils, nasal cavity. Okay, and the windpipe. This windpipe is nothing but students, trachea. Okay, trachea, and the lungs, diaphragm. About diaphragm I'll explain you now. Okay, breathing involves rib cage, a muscular sheet below the chest cavity called diaphragm. During the inhalation, the chest cavity increases in size and diaphragm moves down. Air enters into the lungs. During the exhalation, the chest cavity reduces in size and the diaphragm moves up. Air is pushed out of the lungs. See children. See, this is the chest region. What it is children? Chest cavity we can say. in the chest cavity we are having the lungs. Here these are the lungs. Okay, right. In the chest cavity we are having the rib cage. Okay, so and down of the chest cavity we are having a special membrane called diaphragm. What is that? Diaphragm. Okay, this diaphragm helps in the movement of rib cage. Okay, so it allows the intake of air into the body. At the same time it also allows the exhalation of the air out of the body. And so we are having the intercostal muscles in the chest region. So the muscles which we have across this are the intercostal muscles. So expansion and the relaxation of the lungs can be mainly supported or maintained by this movement of intercostal muscles and the down diaphragm. Okay, these two things, what are those? Diaphragm is the membrane which is present at the base of the chest cavity, and we have the separate muscles. Those are nothing but the intercostal muscles. These two things, they'll be helping the supply of air into the body. In the same way they are going to also helps the exhalation of the air to out of the body. So by what it is possible? By the movement, that is by the contraction and the relaxation of these muscles. Okay, right. So when this diaphragm moves up, okay, obviously chest, so there is an upward movement of the whole chest region, so that during that time we are taking the oxygen into the body. So expansion, so there is the volume of the chest region is going to expanded to accommodate air into the body. Okay, then immediately, so inhalation is followed by the exhalation, right? So after the inhalation, immediately this diaphragm comes back to its original position, so that, see, chest region go to its original position. So there will be the intercostal muscles relaxes, as a result it contracts. Okay, so that it push out the air whatever present in our chest region, that is we are inhaling, that is exhaling. Okay, so during the inhalation what we are doing, we are taking the oxygen. So to take something into it, we should have proper room, right? We should have proper volume. So that volume is created by the expansion of the intercostal muscles and the upward movement of the diaphragm, and immediately it is followed by the exhalation, right? So the carbon dioxide has to go out of the body. Understand, this is inhalation and exhalation, the actual mechanism involved in this. Yes, so diaphragm moves upward during the inhalation, and during the exhalation, so diaphragm moves back. Okay, mechanism of breathing. Once again, here they gave exhalation, inhalation. Okay, during the exhalation, the pattern of this our diaphragm is curved. Diaphragm moves down, and this is diaphragm moves back. Okay, next, see the model to show the mechanism of breathing. So with this model we can easily physically explain to the children, so the mechanism, the actual mechanism involved in the breathing procedure. So expiration, okay, this is the inspiration. During expiration, see, air is going to come out of the bottle, and during the inspiration, see, there is a rubber membrane is present down of the glass jar. Okay, so when the membrane is volume decreased, pressure increased, so they are going to seal the bottom of the glass with the membrane. So when the volume is decreased, pressure is increases. Okay, in the second case, that is inspiration, it is showing, so there pulling the sheet to the back, so volume increases, pressure decreases, so inspiration allows the gas into the body. So during the expiration, lungs are like this, during the inspiration lungs are like this, whereas during the expiration lungs are contracts. Okay, now what do we breathe out? So it's another activity. So the air we breathe is mixture of carbon dioxide and the moisture. So we can easily prove with this experiment. Take a test tube, pour some lime water into it. So here he took one test tube. Into this he poured some lime water. Right. Now insert a plastic straw into the lime water, blow the air through the straw into the lime water. So with the help of straw, we need to blow the air into the lime water. The lime water turns so milky. Whenever we are blowing the air into the test tube with the help of straw, so here the lime water turns into the milky. So this shows that air we breathe out contains carbon dioxide. Take a mirror and blow it on the mirror. A film of moisture is formed on the mirror. This shows that air we breathe out contains even the moisture. Where on the mirror, if you blow air means, so we can see some small droplets. So it gives the physical proof that we are exhaling the carbon dioxide as well as the moisture. Next, breathing in other animals. So far we discussed about the breathing in the human beings. Now we are discussing about the breathing in the other organisms, such as here the cockroach we are discussing. Cockroach belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. Cockroach breathes through small openings in their body called spiracles. So these are the spiracles. See children, this is the cockroach. These small openings, side of this openings, spiracles are present. Spiracles are connected to the air tube called trachea. These spiracles have the connections with the air tube like structure called trachea. Oxygen rich air enters to the spiracles and passes to the trachea to all the cells in the body. Carbon dioxide from the cells passes to the trachea and spiracles out of the body. See children, this is the cockroach's body. The spiracles are, as I said, spiracles are the small openings. Through these openings, air enters into the body. Then it enters into the trachea. Okay. Oxygen-rich air enters the spiracles and passes the trachea to all the cells of the body. Now, trachea, they are like small tube-like structures. These tube-like structures supplying the air to the different body parts of our cockroach. And carbon dioxide from the cells passes to the trachea, then spiracles. In the same way, in which way oxygen is reaching to the every cell of the body, in the same way carbon dioxide also coming out of the body. Okay, so this is the breathing procedure in the cockroach. Now let us see about the earthworm and the fishes. Earthworm breathes through the moisture skin. The moisture skin helps in the exchange of the gases. So the earthworm's body is covered with the moisture skin. The skin keep on secreting some mucus. Okay, they'll be having mucous membrane, it secretes mucus. So in the earthworm, skin is a respiratory organ. It is not having any special respiratory organs like human. Okay, so in the skin, here skin is a respiratory organ. So if the organism performs the process of respiration with the help of skin, we'll call that as a cutaneous respiration. Very important point down. Note down this point. Cutaneous respiration. And now second one, fishes. Fishes breathe through the gills. So these are the gills present. This gills helps in the respiration process. Gills have the direct connection with the blood vessel, which help in the exchange of the gases. So gases, and if the organism performs the respiration with the help of gills, called brachial respiration. What is this, children? Brachial respiration. So in the previous case we are seeing about the cockroach. that is nothing but tracheal respiration. Tracheal respiration. In the cockroach, tracheal respiration is there. In the fishes, branchial respiration. Next, in the, I think we have seen the earthworm, I think, cutaneous respiration. Okay. Now, respiration in the plants. So far we discussed about the respiration in the animals. Now, plants. Plants also performs the procedure of respiration. You might have a doubt that plants performs photosynthesis. So, plants performs both the procedures, photosynthesis and the respiration. Okay. You know, plants are the only organisms, they are having the capability of self-synthesizing the food material. That procedure is nothing but the photosynthesis. This photosynthesis happens during the daytime. You know, photosynthesis required some supply of the light energy. There is a reason photosynthesis occurs only during the daytime. So, plants also takes in the oxygen from air and gives out the carbon dioxide. In the same way, in the same way how the animal is giving carbon dioxide to out, taking oxygen, in the same way plants also perform the procedure of respiration. This oxygen is used in the cells to break down the glucose into the carbon dioxide, water, and just to get the energy. You know, plants are the living creatures. They do require they are synthesizing the food with the help of photosynthesis. But breakdown of this food molecule releases the energy, right? So, for that procedure, our plants has to perform the life process, that is respiration. The leaves have tiny pores called stomata. Now, so far we have seen animals like human beings are having the nasal cavity, lungs, all these things, so that they are easily capable of taking oxygen and exhaling the carbon dioxide. Fishes, they will be having the gills, and if it is earthworm, it is having the skin, and if it is cockroach, they will be having the trachea, spiracles and all. So, as they are animals, they are having the separate organs for their process of respiration. In the same way, our plants do perform the respiration. It is having the special small openings, small pores on the lower epidermal layers of the leaf. So, this pores helps for the exchange of the gases. See, the leaves have tiny pores called stomata, which helps in the exchange of the gases. The root hair also helps to take air from the soil. See, stomata are present lower epidermal layers. Not only this, root hairs which are present in the root system, they will also helps the plant to absorb air. Okay, so respiration in the plants we have seen. Okay, children, we discussed respiration in the organisms, both in the animals we discussed and plants also we discussed. Now, differences between the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. In the aerobic, oxygen is utilized. In the anaerobic, there is no need of oxygen. So, generally all the organisms performs the process of aerobic respiration. Anaerobic means yeast, muscle cells of the human, some microorganisms performs the procedure of anaerobic respiration. So, you should know the equations of the both aerobic and anaerobic. So, in the aerobic, glucose molecule break down to liberate carbon dioxide, water and energy, right? If it is in anaerobic, glucose molecules in the yeast cells, in the anaerobic we have to practice two reactions, students. So, in the yeast cell, glucose molecule breakdowns under the absence of oxygen to liberate alcohol, water and energy. In the muscle cells, so this glucose molecule break down to liberate lactic acid and the energy. Okay, so even in our case, when we are walking very fastly, when you are running very fastly, when you are doing any severe exercises without any break and all, so in such case we'll be having some clumps during in the muscles, so in the hands and in the tongue, in the legs. What is the reason? Due to the formation of the clumps, that is nothing but the deposition of the lactic acid. So during the severe exercise and the severe work, human requires more and more energy. So it is taking the breakdown of the glucose molecule, taking the alternative pathway to liberate the energy. I mean to say, it taking the shortcut pathway to liberate the energy. In that shortcut pathway, glucose molecules break down to liberate the lactic acid, water, not water, energy. Okay, children. So that's all for today. I hope I explained very well. Okay. So now thing is in your hand. You have to practice whatever reactions I have explained, diagrams, human respiratory system, and you should have well aware of this diagrams part and all. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.